Okay, I guess the audio is fine, so I'm already uploading that, and I'm just gonna continue reading this. This is the Hamas covenant, excerpts from it, and I'm just pointing out that, what they're saying is very true concerning the Freemason Brotherhood and all these other fraternities that have a history of being subversive, being behind the French Revolution and whatnot, and have an agenda over in that Middle East. And it all sounds great. Hitler wrote similar things, Hitler wrote plenty that sounds just like this. The whole idea is basically to villainize their opposition. So they create controlled opposition for a lot of times for purposes of, forever painting anybody who questions this world government agenda, this Zionist agenda, whatnot, as evil, racist, crazy people who could possibly, be terrorists and hurt people. So, yep. So they're right. Our enemies took control of the world media, which is true. They were behind the French Revolution. That's true. The Communist Revolution. That's true. Behind World War I. That's true. Able to destroy the Islamic Caliphate, making financial gains and controlling resources. The controlling resources, making financial gains. True. Obtained the Balfour Declaration. True. And what else is true? What's not true is to destroy the Islamic Caliphate. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Islam, like modern Judaism and the perverted Christian Zionism, whatnot, and its other branches of different Christian denominations, were simply just another creation of the Brotherhood. Like I said with in previous video before turning that off, that Christianity, if the church has interpreted Christianity correctly, possibly it could be a unique religion, possibly that doesn't really have any worldly agenda. Sure, modern Christianity, though, fortunately, this goes back years ago from Martin Luther being a Rosicrucian. You can go back before then. The Catholic Church really just being another mystery school. With all the sun worship symbolism and stuff, it's just another part of the Brotherhood's controlled matrix. Using that wording. So, anyways. Formed the League of Nations through which they could rule the world. They were behind World War II, through which they made huge financial gains by trading in armaments and paved the way for the establishment of their state. It was they that instigated the replacement of the League of Nations with the United Nations and the Security Council to enable them to rule the world through them. There is no war going on anywhere without them having their finger in it. The Palestinian Liberation Organization adopted the idea of the secular state, which completely contradicts the idea of religious ideology. The day the PLO adopts Islam as its way of life, we will become its soldiers and fuel for its fire that will burn the enemies. Until that day, and how well are you guys doing that? And how well did your assholes do that? If we believe the official narrative that you just went over on October 7th and killed a bunch of Israelis. Yeah, how well did that work out? If we are to believe the official narrative anyway. You guys aren't really suffering. The Palestinians that you guys basically threw under the bus and betrayed with your actions that you guys probably did for Israel, that just benefited Israel. That's about the only thing that you did. So, yeah, you guys are a joke. Puppet front for the very people that you claim to be against. Until that day, the Islamic resistance movement stand towards the PLO is that of the son towards his father, the brother towards his brother, and the relative to relative who suffers his pain and supports him in confronting the enemies, wishing him to be wise and well guided. The Zionist invasion is a vicious invasion. It does not refrain from resorting to all methods, using all evil and contemptible ways to achieve its end, like creating you guys, creating your organization, and funding you guys. It relies greatly on the secret organizations it gave rise to, such as the Freemasons, the Rotary and Lions Club, other sabotage groups. All these organizations work in the interests of Zionism, like you guys do. They aim at undermining societies, destroying values, and corrupting consciousness, deteriorating character, and annihilating Islam. You know, which you guys really kind of helped with your dumbass terrorist actions. So, like I said, if we were to believe the official narrative anyway. We do at least know that Israel let you guys in. It is behind the drug trade and alcoholism. Again, that's true. In all its kinds, so as to facilitate its control and expansion. Writers, intellectuals, media people, orators, educators, teachers, and all the various sectors in the Arab and Islamic world, all of them are called upon to perform their role and to fulfill their duty because of the veracity of the Zionist offensive and the Zionist influence in many countries exercised through financial and media control. The Zionist plan is limitless. After Palestine, the Zionists aspire to expand from the Nile to the Euphrates. When they will have digested the region they overtook, they will aspire to further expansion, and so on. Their plan is embodied in the protocols of the elders of Zion, and in their present conduct is the best proof of what we are saying. Leaving the circle of struggle with Zionism is high treason, and cursed be he who does that. And you can read the entire document by clicking here. But interesting, he brings up the protocols. You know, there's a protocol in the Protocols of Zion about controlled opposition. Simulated opposition, as it's called. Let's see what that says. Of course, fucking Google wants to hide everything just about. I'll have to dig that out when I get a chance. Yeah. I beg you to note that among those making attacks upon us will also be organs established by us, but they will attack exclusively points that we have predetermined to alter. This is the one, protocol number 12, whatever, for which reason all journals published by us will be of the most opposite and appearance, tendencies, and opinions, thereby creating confidence in us and bringing over to us a quite unsuspicious opponents who will thus fall into our trap and be rendered harmless. But that's not the exact protocol. Let me, this is an interesting one. All our newspapers will be of all possible complexions, aristocratic, republican, revolutionary, even anarchical. For so long, of course, as the Constitution exists, like the Indian idol Vishnu, they will have 100 hands, and every one of them will have a finger on any one of the public opinions as required. When a pulse quickens, these hands will lead opinion in the direction of our aims. For an excited patient loses all power of judgment and easily yields to suggestion. Those fools who will think they are repeating the opinion of a newspaper of their own camp will be repeating our opinion, or any opinion that seems desirable for us. In the vain belief that they are following the organ of their party, they will in fact follow the flag that we hang out for them. And we clearly, say that. I mean, this might have been like a hoax. As it's established in the mainstream. But the quote-unquote illumined ones, or illumined masters behind the scenes, they often do this. They do reveal their agenda. I'm at the same opinion of Bill Cooper, that he put this in his book, Behold a Pale Horse, at least his edition, before now they changed it and completely took out the protocols in the new editions of Behold a Pale Horse. But he was of the opinion that, of course, they wrote this out to make it like it was all Jews, but it was really the Illuminati, that of course is comprised of many Jews. But again, people get it mixed up, that when they say that, when they make it just a Jewish conspiracy, there are many Jews involved, of course. And there are many Jewish supremacists who have their own New World Order agenda, which needs to be addressed, and they have very powerful influence. All that stuff is verified. But these guys are good chess players. They know how to play their games. They know how to, give out scapegoats. They control Islam at the top. They control the modern Kabbalah Judaism at the top. And they control the Christian cults at the top. But they're not Christians, they're not Jews, they're not Muslims. They are ones that are the high-level adept initiates of the mystery religions. And that's one thing that they seem, people who are just say it's just a Muslim conspiracy, it's a Zionist conspiracy, it's some of the left will say it's a Christian right-wing conspiracy, whatever, whatnot. They're all missing that. No, it's all these groups, but these groups are just controlled opposition groups run by the same Illuminati adepts behind the scenes. So I guess I can't find that. I'm going to get that quote from the protocols. I just don't know what page it's on, and I don't want to spend so much time finding it. But trying to think of right now. I think for now I will end this video. But again, just to show that further evidence that Hamas is just a controlled arm of the Zion Nazis over in Israel. There's a quote from Benjamin Netanyahu. I believe it was in March 2019. According to various reports, Netanyahu made a similar point at a Likud faction meeting in early 2019 when he was quoted as saying that those who oppose the Palestinian state should support the transfer of funds to Gaza because maintaining the separation. I'll just go ahead and for years, the various governments led by Benjamin Netanyahu took an approach that divided power between the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, bringing Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas to his knees while making moves that propped up the Hamas terror group. The idea was to prevent Abbas or anyone else in the Palestinian Authority's West Bank government from advancing toward the establishment of a Palestinian state. So why Netanyahu helped fund Hamas and how that backfired for Israel? Where he helped fund Hamas because, as you know, it is their boogeyman group. Israel has pledged to destroy Hamas. No, Israel has pledged to destroy the Palestinians. telling the dupes that they're trying to destroy Hamas. It is, however, ironical that Israel's government under Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu consciously channelized funds to Hamas and helped it gain the strength and power that it has today. But why did Israel do so, and how did its calculations go awry? Benjamin Netanyahu's government worked with the singular purpose of trying to prevent the formation of a Palestinian state, according to experts. It also sought to buy peace by giving Gaza residents a glimpse of a better life by funneling money and providing work permits. I guess read more, but I think I'll just put that up. There was a quote from Netanyahu. Anyways. Okay, yeah, and there's this our other article that I really was trying to get to. But since I came across this too, Reuters, Pope urges world religions to unite against environmental devastation. And this is something that I'm going to get into with the weather control because, again, that's a part of their Hegelian dialect deception, and it's part of their problem-reaction solution. They're going to create the environmental devastation through their weather warfare, weather modification programs. That way they can, urge the peoples of the world to come together in their new world order. Pope Francis said on Sunday that it was essential for all world's religions to unite in opposing the rapacious devastation of the environment. So, like I said, these people are good. I might need to go to my bookmarks. No, my downloads, I mean. Just want it. Now, I can't play this video. It doesn't let me play it. It'll play like 20 seconds of it, and it keeps saying error occurred. I'm not saying that this is proof, but you have another person outside America talking about, all these issues, saying that Freemasonry is behind it, Hamas created by Israeli Mossad, and this was back in 2018. Kuwaiti researcher Aisha Rished, Iran is an arm of Zionist Freemasonry, Hamas created by the Israeli Mossad. Kuwaiti researcher Aisha Rished, I probably pronounced that completely wrong, but whatever, claimed in a recent interview that Iran, Israel, America, Britain, France, Turkey were, quote, tools of Zionist Freemasonry, unquote. According to Arshed, Ayatollah Khomeini was not Iranian, and Hassan Nasrallah is not Lebanese, but both were, quote, planted by Zionist Freemasonry, unquote. The Americans have a plan for a third world war in order to divide up the Arab world again, and Hamas, the military wing of the Muslim Brotherhood, was created by the Israeli Mossad. There is no war, it is merely an illusion. When the interviewer protested that Hamas was waging a war against Israel, adding, quote, you can say bye-bye to the rights of the Palestinian people, unquote. That's what it's really all about. Iran is one of the arms of Zionist Freemasonry, she says. And she further says, yes, it is one of the arms of Zionist Freemasonry, and its goal goes far beyond that. And the host asked her, do you have proof of what you say? And she says, what proof do you need? The evidence is overwhelming. The tools of Zionist Freemasonry are as follows. Iran, Israel, America, Britain, and France. These countries are the tools of Zionist Freemasonry. Turkey, too. You must first know who created Khomeini's revolution and who Khomeini was, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. Forgive me. I'm not, so learned in this, in their tongue, so I don't pronounce their names correctly. So you can read the names, so you pronounce it how you will. Khomeini was not Iranian. He was a Hindu living in Britain. He was planted in Iraq, where he was trained. Afterwards, he was taken to France, and from there to Tehran. Similarly, Hassan Nasrallah is not Lebanese. And, whatever, but the host says, but Hassan Nasrallah is Lebanese, and she says, no, he is not. He is Iranian by origin, was planted in Lebanon. Who created the regime of the Ayatollahs? It was created by Zionist Freemasonry in order to destroy the Arab world and destroy Islam. Who created the Muslim Brotherhood? Zionist Freemasonry by means of the U.S. intelligence. Where did Sayyid Qutb come from? Who made him what he was? Zionist Freemasonry and U.S. intelligence. They are two sides of the same coin. Host, did the Israeli strikes in Syria, especially the last ones, target Hezbollah? Aisha replies, look, they have a plan for a third world war in order to divide up the Arab world again after they failed in the Arab Spring. Quote, the host asks, who is they? She says, the Americans. They plan to change the map of the Arab world after 100 years. The host said to her, some say that Israel was behind it. She says, it is Zionist Freemasonry. Israel is one of its arms. Their dream is to create the greater Israel from the Nile to the Euphrates. Everybody has peddled in the Palestinian cause, especially the Palestinians themselves, both Hamas and Fatah, who created Hamas, the Israeli Mossad. Hamas itself is killing the Palestinians, and it is the military wing of the Muslim Brotherhood. The host says, that's right, but it is waging a war against Israel. And Aisha said, there is no war. It is merely an illusion. Who says that Hamas is raising the banner of resistance? Hamas is the only one that is killing the Palestinians. The host asked, was Hamas planted there in order to dismantle the Palestinian cause or to weaken the Palestinian cause and the rights of the Palestinian people? And Aisha replied, you can say bye-bye to the rights of the Palestinian people. So, I have so much stuff I want to get into. The Bible prophecy stuff I kind of wanted to start exposing. Here's the Ben Gurian quote. World government quote. No, United Nations in Jerusalem. He said this in Look magazine. Ben Gurian foresees gradual democratization of the Soviet Union. Gradual democratization of the Soviet Union and the abolition of wars by 1987 is predicted by Israel Premier David Ben Gurian in a statement published in the current issue of Look magazine, which carries a number of interviews on the world outlook 25 years from now. Mr. Ben Gurian's statement reads, quote, the image of the world in 1987 as traced in my imagination. The Cold War will be a thing of the past. Internal pressure of the constantly growing intelligentsia in Russia for more freedom and the pressure of the masses for raising their living standards may lead to a gradual democratization of the Soviet Union. On the other hand, the increasing influence of the workers and farmers and the rising political importance of men of science may transform the United States into a welfare state with a planned economy. Western and Eastern Europe will become a federation of autonomous states having a socialist and democratic regime, with the exception of the USSR as a federated Eurasian state Other continents will become united in a world alliance at whose disposal will be an international police force. All armies will be abolished and there will be no more wars. In Jerusalem, the United Nations, a truly United Nations, will build a shrine of the prophets to serve the federated union of all continents. This will be the seat of the Supreme Court of mankind to settle all controversies among the federated continents, as prophesied by Isaiah. Yep, bullshit. Higher education will be the right of every person in the world. A pill to prevent pregnancy will slow down the explosive natural increase in China and India, and by 87, the average lifespan of man will reach 100 years. I wonder where I had to look up to see. Yeah. Ben Gurian became a Zionist and joined the Socialist Zionist group. Hole Zion at 17. David Ben Gurian, Israel's first prime minister, is one of the most important Zionist leaders of the 21st century. But I'm not going to get so much into that. Almost immediately, he took up positions of leadership in the Socialist Zionist Zion Party, whatever. I just think the quote that I found, the highlight of that article on Google caught my attention. Oh yeah, right here. Ben Gurian believed that socialism and Zionism were two sides of the same ideological coin. Jewish nationalism sought not only to achieve Jewish economic self-sufficiency, but also to create a new kind of Jew, proud, independent, and living out the fruits of manual labor. So, Ben Gurion believed that the establishment of socialist workers' hegemony was a crucial step in the attainment of Jewish independence. Anyways, so, yep, he was a socialist. Post another video on more on these subjects. Good night.